Last time we were talking about heredity, and we called it a reliable way to transfer coded instructions for specifying traits from one generation to the next. So in that definition, let's focus here today on the coded instructions. Okay, what is this code that we're talking about? And of course, we know now that these codes, the coded instructions, this is the DNA. And specifically, the sequence of those nucleotides that we're going to talk about today. The A, T, C, and G. Okay, so DNA is their subunit, or their building block. Or you might see subunit. Both those terms apply. Are nucleotides. Nucleotides. Okay. They're composed of three parts. So let me draw one out here. So we have this phosphate group. Connected to a sugar, and this sugar is deoxyribose. And then we have a nitrogen base. That nitrogen base could be one of four different types of bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, or guanine. One of those, not all four at the same time. So those are our four different letters that we're going to talk about a lot. Okay, so A is adenine, and T is thymine, C is cytosine, and G is guanine. Okay? All right, so you probably have heard that DNA is double-stranded. Okay, so there's two sides to it. So let's first work on one side. And again, it's made up of these subunits right here, these nucleotides. Okay, so I'm going to move over here. These little things are going to make up this DNA ladder. I'll just put it across here. Okay, and so this little part right here would make up this. So if I drew it a little bit more realistically, I would have a phosphate. Okay, and then it would be attached to the next phosphate, and the sugar, deoxyribose, and a base. And notice that I'm just drawing one side of this. And again, each one of those, maybe this one has an A, this has a T, this has a C, and then we'll draw the G, of course, too. Straight here. Okay, and on the opposite side, I drew that way too big. Try that again. You notice I am drawing this upside down, and that is on purpose. Okay, and then we'll connect bases as such. Okay, so T, upside down, that's a T, but I'm drawing it upside down. There's an A, there's a G, and here is a C. Okay, if I were to flip that upright, it would look normal. Okay, so one of the things you notice here, well, actually, should be two things. One, that they are what's called, the two strands are called anti-parallel. Okay, which means that one goes down and one goes upside down from each other, if you will. Okay, and the second thing you should notice is that there's, I purposely kind of connected these certain letters. That A is connected to T, okay, and they're connected by what are called hydrogen bonds. Okay, and at C, this is still the second thing with the other side of it, C goes with G. Okay, same thing by hydrogen bonds. And an easy way to remember this, I got a couple of tricks, whatever one works for you. Up in the Rochester area, where we are, we know the town Gates Chili. So you might think to yourself, at Gates Chili, at ATGC. Okay, I've heard another teacher use the idea of Tim Allen and George Clooney as two actors that they remember. And you could also say, thanks again for the gold coin. Thanks again for the gold coin. Whatever works for you, for this. So let's just do a little bit of practice, with this idea. Pretty easy, but let's just make sure. All right, so if we have on one strand, we have like an A, T, T, G, C, A. What would be the opposite strand? Okay, and I want you to pause the video for a moment and write it out. You haven't paused yet. Make sure you pause. That's that little button right there. All right, welcome back. So hopefully you got this as an answer. Okay, at Gates Chili. Pretty easy. Now, we said that the idea of heredity is that we need to have a reliable way of passing this on to the next generation. You might notice that if we were to split this in half and move this over to here and this over to here, it'd be easy to copy the other side. That's just going to lead us into the next one, the next lesson on replication. Okay, hopefully that helped.